Welcome back to The Breakdown. I'm your host, Dujunnea Bland, and what an exciting weekend we had of the NFL, and we're going to talk about it. I'm going to give you my thoughts on a few things that I saw this weekend, because there was a lot of action, man. A lot of action, some surprises, and some things that just make you go, And man, aren't we glad football's back? I mean, it's exciting to have the NFL back and to be able to have our weekends filled with pad popping, just amazing action in the NFL. And I'll start with the Cleveland Browns. So this is why you don't crown people before it's time. I mean, yes, it was exciting and very intriguing of the different talents they brought in. Odell Beckham Jr. being the one that really took it over the top for them. They have a lot of talent there on the offensive and defensive side of the ball, but you got to play the games. And playing the games is what counts and what makes the difference and shows whether you are ready or not. And I'm not saying after this first game the Browns aren't ready, but there's some things that showed up on Sunday that have been prevalent throughout the preseason. Now, I'll be the first to apologize. The Titans Nation overlooked them a little bit. They came in, balled out, got all over them, especially defensively, and stifled that Cleveland Browns offense, which could be nasty if you don't keep it in check. Now, some things that stood out to me about the Browns and their offense. First off, you allowed 5 sacks. That's a lot. And most of the night, most of the day, he was running for his life. Baker was running for his life, trying to make plays. He forced some balls, which in turn, obviously, were turnovers. He had 3 of those. Can't have those. You definitely can't have those on the road and at home, and that makes a difference. Giving your opponent too many opportunities and putting your defense in bad situations never helps. And we know if you lose the turnover battle, you're probably going to lose the game. And they lost the game. 10% third down efficiency. Not good. If you're not moving the ball, and you're not converting on third down, you're not scoring. And they were 1 of 10. Now, granted, Tennessee was 2 of 10, but they won the game. Could that be attributed to turnovers? Possibly. But this Browns team also had 18 penalties for 182 yards. Atrocious. Penalties and turnovers will destroy your opportunities to win ball games. And they have to clean that up. What I will say is, it's week 1. Do I think this is the Cleveland Browns that we will expect to see all season? No, not at all. I think this team is very talented. They have a good leader in Baker Mayfield. They'll be able to get the job done. Are they a playoff team? Who knows? They have the potential to be. But crowning them early was a little bit much. And we'll see how it goes from here and what they do week 2 and beyond. But I think they're going to be okay. It's just week 1, guys. And it's hard to gauge week 1 in the NFL, especially the way preseason has come about, especially this season. Not a lot of starters played throughout any of the games, and teams didn't show much. So I won't take too much away from this, but I do have a question about Freddie Kitchens as the coach. Just saying. Now we go to Baltimore. And I've been on Lamar Jackson since he came into the league last year. And everyone sits here and acts like this guy is strictly a runner and is unable to pass the football. And I said it in college. Now, a lot of this stuff was designed for him when he did run, but he looks to throw the football. He was 17 of 20 yesterday, 324 yards, 5 touchdowns, and that's right, ladies and gentlemen, goose egg, big old zero in the turnover department. Stellar day. Yeah, I know it's week one, but it's a little bit of a slap in the face to all those jabronis that think that this guy can't pass the football. He did an excellent job. This team was 7 of 11 on third downs, efficiency, and like I said, no turnovers. And that's important when you're trying to win football games. And look, it's the Miami Dolphins. I understand that. But how often do we see teams lose to people who they have no business losing to? You got to beat the teams that you're supposed to beat, and they beat them handedly. Can't argue about that, not one bit. And I like what I see out of Lamar Jackson. We see if we can build on this week to week. But the potential and the talent is there. And this guy can throw the football. He can throw it well. Now, teams are going to make adjustments. They're going to try to take away that deep threat. They're going to make him throw more intermediate and short routes, a lot of those hard throws to the sideline. But I think this guy can do it. And with his mobility, he creates a different dynamic that you have to be aware for and account for on defense, which is only going to make him better. And let's not forget, a lot of people don't care for Robert. I like Robert and was the perfect guy to be behind Lamar Jackson to teach him and to help him along the way. And he's done an excellent job of that. And it's showing out there on the football field for Lamar Jackson. So kudos to him for his Sunday performance. And hopefully he can build off of that. Now that brings me to the Jacksonville Jaguars. Oh, Jacksonville. They make moves to try to get a quarterback. They get a quarterback. I love the Nick Foles pickup, and the poor guy gets hurt in the first game of the season. And they have to go to the rookie, Gardner Minshew. I love the guy. I was really high on him coming out, along with a few other guys like the Ryan Finleys of the world there. He has ability. He has a leadership quality about him, and he also has that mobility, something that's important in the league, and a lot of teams are going to that as far as quarterback. He played very well, considering the circumstances. I mean, think about it. This guy comes in here. He probably had 1-2 reps, maybe with the first team, maybe. And comes out and plays a heck of a ball game, considering the circumstances that he was thrusted into. Really says a lot about his preparedness. Says a lot about his study habits. Because that's a tall task for a rookie to have to come in to a game with no reps with the first team. I like what you see there. And he's a guy that is mobile. He can move. He makes plays, can make every throw. He may not have the strongest arm, but I like his ability to handle himself and get himself out of trouble if the pocket breaks down. He was anything and everything you could ask for. The interception, you don't like to see those, but he was trying to make a play, and it was the wrong play, unfortunately. I mean, he was 22 of 25, 275, 2 touchdowns against the Kansas City Chiefs, which is a tough draw in week one for any team. And then he has to come out there with little practice and lead this team to victory. Things that the Jacksonville Jaguars have to correct, though, you can't have 10 penalties for 71 yards. The turnovers, obviously, they were 1 of 3 in the red zone. That's 33%. Not going to cut it. Not going to cut it against the good teams. And if you're trying to win this division, that's going to be advantageous for you to win in the red zone, get points on the board, and be able to build the lead. I mean, they scored 26 points. A lot of it late, but they were in this game for the most part. Like I said, week 1, I wouldn't worry about it too much. They will continue to build. They will continue to correct things. And again, it was a tough draw against a Kansas City Chiefs team who looked as if they hadn't missed a beat. Like they just picked up from where they left off last year. Came out firing on all cylinders. And that's really a lot to ask of a young man. But he did an excellent job and handled himself very well. And kudos to the Jacksonville Jaguars for doing their homework and getting themselves a young quarterback behind Nick Foles, just in case something like this happens. So we'll see how he does going forward, but I really feel sorry for Nick Foles. Thought that the Jaguars was a great spot for him, and he's someone that could elevate this team and get them on the right track to be at least playoff contenders, because they have a good defense. They just have to be consistent on that side of the ball. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. And that brings me to my final thought. Now, I took a lot of heat on social media for my comments about Jay's handling of Adrian Peterson. And like I said, I understand it's a numbers game and you want the special teams to be up to par, because we know here in Washington, the special teams is sketchy at times, allowing big plays at the wrong time. But because I said I understood the numbers game doesn't mean I agree with the decision. See, Adrian Peterson is a Hall of Famer. He gave you 1,000 yards on a team that had a basically revolving door at the offensive line position due to injuries. That's impressive. And with a guy like Geis coming off a knee, working him back slowly would be the smart thing to do. And I don't even care if he is coming back from a knee. He could be perfectly healthy. Adrian Peterson is a Hall of Famer. And when they got up 17-7, that would have been the prime time to use that wrecking ball in Adrian Peterson. But you chose to put him on the inactive list. It's not the right thing to do. And it makes no sense to do such a thing, because you know what? If you don't have talented guys that can go out there and make a tackle in special teams, then they probably don't need to be on your roster. And I don't find that to be the case about this team. But once again, Jay, whether it's calling plays or making decisions, continues to get in his own way. Sometimes you have to listen to those around you, because sometimes they know a little bit more than you and they see things a little bit clearer than you, who are sitting right there in the forefront, because there is a lot of pressure as a coach. And sometimes you miss some of the things, and sometimes those things are super obvious. But as I've said this whole entire show, it's week 1. We'll see. Well, folks, we thank you so much for tuning into the breakdown. Again, subscribe to the show on Google Podcasts. Google, not Google. Google Podcasts, Castbox, Apple Podcasts, all of the major platforms. If you have any questions, if you want me to talk about something on this show, shoot me an email at straightshootingst@gmail.com. We'll take a look at it, and it could be a part of this show. And as always, you can follow me at NotBland21. You can follow my work at sportsjourney.com. And again, thank you so much. You guys have been listening to The Breakdown.